early next week on Saturday the 26th of February. Starting with Bitcoin as usual, we discussed this C equals A low here, decent spike there. Now at a retest, a decent spike there, which is pretty encouraging that we're going to go up from this point to confirm that this is a key low. The problem is the wave count doesn't really support this in terms of we've got an A, B, C here, A, B and C. This could even be a 5 in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a bit of dichotomy there. This looks encouraging, but it does need to establish itself. But right, for now I'm positive, not 100% positive because the wave count is not supporting this. It could be going to see a C wave perhaps to above 46,000, perhaps above 50,000, and that might be a point to start being alarmed maybe. But this does look pretty good at the moment, and it is important Bitcoin sort of passes this test. The war in the Ukraine is, in some extent, a domestic affair almost, but of course the world starts rattling its sabers and getting involved and blah blah blah. Which I'm not saying it shouldn't do that, but it therefore becomes could become a more international event, which may not be the best outcome in many ways. I think it's a fairly complicated and difficult situation, but currently fairly contained in a small geographical area. So if Bitcoin can't sort of overcome this test, as it were, then that would be of concern, I think. But so this is encouraging at the moment. So look at how Ethereum is doing. Ethereum is doing better because I have counted this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is rather small in comparison to what the wave 1 and the wave 2. So the 4 and the 5 are tiddly, but they're not having a clear 5-part wave for the 5th wave. Clear ABC for the I suppose that could be a 3, 4, 5, but another solid spike here, and looking good. So again, if we're not seeing impulsive action, then we may well see an ABC, which could take some new highs. Let me just check the last high on this. No, it wouldn't. Would it? It would just take us up about here. So that would not an ABC would not negate the negative of this wave count at the moment. Look at the fibs. I say this so far this rally's only 38.2%, so hasn't achieved much. But I say these two spikes and the spike here was pretty solid burst up the third SIP at least, a double spike here. Certainly encouraging for at least a decent C wave rally. And just take out this high here, it will look very good for the next 2 months, I would think. So certainly there's potential here. Looking at gold, I did say in the last report that we had a five wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've had a very sharp correction, in fact tracing 50% down to this fib here, 50% fib, bounced off there. Interesting, I thought gold would be somewhat less negative than that, but maybe it's gone too far. This could be an ABC, so that's an A, ABC, and then maybe a C. Well, it depends what's happening, I think, at that point. The triangle, upper parameter of the triangle continues to be here, so that may be a key support level, just below, between the 38.2% level here. So maybe an ABC and then another blip down. But the five waves up suggests we're going to see a continued upside once this decline is out of the way. On silver, we look back at the low back here in March 2020. We had this 5-wave advance. We then had this, I'm calling it an A wave. This looks corrective, looks like a B. So A, B, now a C is perhaps due. So this could be the beginning of something quite negative on silver. Let's get back to the shorter term action. Expand this slightly. So again, we've got the 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's an ABC though. This is a B wave. It could be an ABC. It looks complete, certainly. So this could be the C wave decline coming in that ties in with that longer term chart. So we could have an A, a B, and then a C wave decline at the least coming in, and it could in fact make new lows, looking at the longer term count. There's potential there. It seems unlikely, in fact, but then markets don't always do what we think they're going to do, as I think we all know all too well. Just one further thought on this. I mean, if silver is going to a C-wave decline, and gold does the same, although the chart is different, then maybe what's happening here is that the cryptos will actually come to the fore, and people will start to prefer cryptos to gold and silver. I don't really see that happening, but again, markets do surprise us again and again, and this count is quite negative really on silver at the moment. I mean, this is a very corrective action with all the negatives that we're seeing with the war, etc. This is all silver can do. It doesn't really encourage much optimism for the upside at this point in time. Meanwhile, FTSE has put in this pretty startling rally. A clear ABC. We discussed that last report, and now we've got it seems to be clearly positive action, suggesting we're going to new highs. I'll just expand this chart a little bit in case something else comes to mind. So we have 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC getting close to the 50% level. Sorry, get down below the 60% level. And we're now shooting ahead and looks like a continuation, about a third wave. I'm looking at the longer term again, just look at the wave counts. Yeah, we had a 1, regular 2, and this is a 3. Then we've seen 1 of 3, 2 of 3. Now we've got a third of a third coming in, which suggests a very positive period over the next coming months for FTSE. Quite interesting wave patterns given where we are on the world stage, as it were, but looking pretty good. There's no real doubt in this rally, certainly. Looking at the longer term chart of the DAX, we have quite a clear 5-wave advance up from 2009, so that's 12 years ago. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3, ABC 4, and now a possible 5th wave. Have a look and see if that's possibly complete or not. It's quite a big chart this way. Because I'm calling that 4. 1, 2, 3. It's possibly complete. It could be that it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. One more rally to come, perhaps. That might be a better count, in fact. If we go to the shorter term action, we do see quite a solid bounce again. This is clearly an ABC. ABC A, B. It could be 5, could be an ABC. It can be even, in fact, for a C wave. So it's just about we've got one more rally to come as a wave 5 to complete this pattern. So again, that ties in with FTSE that we're going to see a decent rally now. But it could be a terminal experience as far as the DAX is concerned. Well, not completely terminal, but as far as the bull market is concerned. The Dow has a similar pattern since the low in 2009, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5th wave possibly. So again, a final rally for the bull market. I mean, the count, this isn't too bad actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. That's quite nicely really. Irregular ABC for 4. Let's have a look at the rather messier period since 2020, July 2020. Right, so what we could have here is the low back here in 2020, around 17,800. 1, 2, 3 to there. A 4, which we've just seen now, with the possible 5th wave now coming in, which is the same as DAX basically, so that would fit the bill pretty well. And see, the 4 would be here, and the 5 would be somewhere in the future. That's a fairly solid count. I mean, obviously the spike, I'm based this on the spike we've seen so far from the low, and let's go down to a shorter term chart so we can see it more clearly. It's looking pretty good really. I mean, it's quite a good looking rally. So I'm saying that's the wave 4, and we're now in a wave 5, which I say could be well, wave 5s are a terminal experience in their own way, but it's a pretty major bull market for over 10 years. So we could be heading for a very different world some months down the road, I would say, maybe a year or so, but that's how it's looking at the moment. I'm not quite sure where the 32,000 came from, but I guess it's probably the C equals A calculation, which would be around that level. Pretty, yes, very much so. So that's again worked really well for this particular low. Interesting how effective that particular technique is. Let's go on to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq has a different count, and we've actually seen a possible five-wave fall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, not very clear fives here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assaults there. Maybe C, 1, 2. There's a 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe that's a 5 there. But there's certainly 5 waves, even though that one is not so clear. So it's possible that the Nasdaq has already seen the first leg down, that the peak's actually in at this level here, around 16,750, and that this is going to be a corrective rally, failing to make new highs, with obvious resistance around 15,330, which is roughly the peak of 4, and also the 61.8% fib level. Anyway, I think the bear markets are, pretty much begun, bar one final new high on the markets I've discussed, and Nasdaq may have seen the peak already, and perhaps Bitcoin is taking over from gold and silver, but that's a slightly faint home till we see clearer indication of what's going on. I hope you found it interesting and useful. Back to the report on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, thanks for listening, and bye for now.